we've been hearing that Tesla's Cybertruck is on track and might actually be here already. There have been reports that came out just last month that there's already 30 Cybertrucks made and ready to roll. And Tesla is still continuing to confirm that they'll be launching in 6 months by mid 2023. So it's time for us to dig deep into this. And to help us do that, we're joined by Lance King today. And he's going to help us explain one, what makes a Cybertruck not just a good product, but a game changing, industry killing one. And two, his own company's bet in creating a new camper called CyberLandr that will on its own revolutionize the RV industry. So now remember though, Elon has stated many times now that the Cybertruck will be Tesla's greatest product and will have the most technology ever. I think the CyberLandr will be an incredible addition to that. Can't wait to watch and learn more about this. So Lance, you're the founder of CyberLandr. It's owned by your company, StreamIt. Thank you so much for joining us and help me get a little bit brighter about all of this.
Hi, Herbert. Thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, we're as excited about Cybertruck as Elon and Franz are. From the day they announced it, it was really clear to us that this was something completely unlike any vehicle that had come before.
Yeah, your design of that CyberLandr is amazing. I can't wait to dive deeper into understanding all the little details you put in there. But let's first start talking about the Cybertruck. I learned that it's estimated right now to be 1.5 million Cybertrucks reserved. I've heard some estimates, some people even are guessing 3 million. But if they sell 1.5 million, that is $98 billion. So why do you think there's so much demand for Cybertruck? Why is it going to be its greatest product? What's your thinking on that?
Well, most of us, when we saw it unveiled, we were just shocked. When Franz came out with the sledgehammer, I thought, okay, as soon as he hits it, that's going to fall off, and then we're going to see the real Cybertruck. And it took a while to sink in because it was so different than what we're used to, right? But clearly, it's a very unique vehicle. And, as I thought about it, I thought, boy, this changes everything. It really does. And in fact, we can go in and I can show you how it compares to other vehicles. And I think that will give some good perspective on what makes it so unique.
All right.
So with every vehicle, there are trade-offs, right? And I like to put them on a spider chart or a radar chart, they call this. And so if you look at an economy car obviously is economical, but it sacrifices some performance and some luxury for that economy. And so it makes a shape like this. Now, you would expect the economy to be farther out than it is here, but it isn't because we're also comparing to electric cars, which are much more efficient. So if you look at a sports car or performance car, you get a lot better performance, but you're sacrificing economy and utility for that because so many of them are two-seaters. And then if you look at a luxury car, tries to be a blend of a lot of things, more luxury, pretty good performance, pretty good utility. And then if you look at an SUV or a pickup, you're picking up even more utility, which makes it a good value, but you're giving up some performance and a lot of economy to get that. So you can see that with each car type, it makes a different shape for what it can do. And of course, if you go to the high-end trucks, the Raptors or the T-Rexes, you're going to pick up more performance, more luxury, but you're going to have a little bit less economy and a little bit poorer value. And then you look at Cybertruck. So as you can see, Cybertruck makes a very different shape. No vehicle before has been so uncompromising. Cybertruck does everything well. And it occurred to me the night they announced it, as I thought about it, this is simultaneously going to be a better economy car than an economy car, a better performance car than most performance cars, a better luxury car than most luxury cars, a better truck than most trucks, because with just a couple of models, they can replace dozens of models from the other manufacturers. And, it's a better SUV because typically you get to a full-size 3-row SUV to get 6 full-size passengers on board. Well, you can do that in the Cybertruck without having anybody have to climb back into that 3rd row, and yet you still got a bed left over and a frunk and cell panel storage and so many other features. So it occurred to me this was a very different vehicle. So as I thought about that over the next several weeks, uh, I thought, you know what, this unique shape is going to need a whole new type of pickup camper because nothing that exists today is going to work. And I
Yeah.
thought, now who's going to make that? And I thought, okay, we all know who the big players are in the RV business. And I just didn't see them doing anything innovative enough. And frankly,
Let's take a
Tesla
look. Yeah.
worthy. I wanted an RV that was truly worthy of a Tesla. And that means software defined, app controlled, uh, thoughtful features that you just don't find in the typical RVs. And so, I looked at the RV industry and I said, yep, it's overdue for a shakeup, outdated technology, inconvenient size and design, and poorly constructed. And so I thought, okay, what's going to take to do this right, to make a Tesla worthy RV? And I thought, well, whoever does it is going to have some app expertise, some cloud
Right.
expertise, some AI expertise. They're going to have to be able to think outside the box. They're going to have to be willing to use new manufacturing techniques and new materials. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm describing my company.
Yeah.
So we got to work on it. And then I thought, okay, now the holy grail of this would be if we could make one that had zero aerodynamic drag
Right.
because aerodynamics are everything in an electric vehicle uh, because that determines your range. And so I thought, what if you could do one with zero aerodynamic drag? And so uh, that's what we started working on.
Gotcha.
So
And yeah, I mean, I doubt very much that the RV industry they have any of this technology background, and so it's kind of unique that your company, which is a technology company, going to get into the RV industry versus the other way around, right? It's who's the more likely
yeah,
to succeed.
yeah, very much like Tesla, right? Everybody said Tesla can't make cars; they're a technology company, and we've had people say, "Well, you can't make RVs; you're a technology company." And that's precisely why we're making them because
All right. Well,
it's
tell me
time
about
for
the RV
revolution.
industry. Tell me what it's like right out there. Out there.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, even among the RV industry, they mock their own quality. So,
Oh, okay.
I didn't write this, they did. They talk about their own pathetic quality. They say that, we need better quality, but it probably won't come from where all the current RVs are made. And we agree. We hope to be making the best quality RVs here in Austin, Texas in 2023. So, we're due for a revolution in that too. It's been a race to the bottom for far too long in RVs.
Okay. What's this?
So, this shows how much the industry has grown from 100,000 units in 1980 to 600,000 units last year. There's huge demand for RVs. Many people want to get out and explore their world, especially after the pandemic. And so you look at this and you go, yep, obviously there's great growth in the RV business. And yet you look at the big players and combined, there's $34 billion in RV sales last year,
Yeah.
and due to grow to 59 billion by 2027. So in just another 4 years from now, and yet the combined market cap of those three biggest players is in the $7 to $8 billion range currently. So a small fraction of their annual sales, which means they're in the value destruction business, which is really where the auto industry was before Tesla came along.
So
And
you
so we
see that
see
the last column there is skyrocketing, and you said that that's partly COVID. Do you think that that's a
it is.
change in like a permanent change, or it's just a one-time blip?
Uh, well, you can see that the trend for the last 40 years is
Yeah,
upwards, right? And
yeah,
I think it was, making up partially for lost time during the pandemic. And
yeah,
we're going to see a reduction in RVs for this year and probably next year due to, uh, economic challenges, right?
yeah,
But also because people are starting to realize, what, the old RV doesn't do what I want it to do. They're gas guzzling. You want to go out and be with nature, but it'd sure be nice if you could take something that treaded more lightly upon nature, right? A little
yeah.
smaller carbon footprint.
It hasn't changed at all, has it, for the last 40 years?
It really hasn't. And so, we see that there is an opportunity for a disruption in the RV
Yeah,
industry due to electrification, AI,
yeah.
and software, the exact same three levers that Tesla has used so effectively in the auto industry.
Makes sense. Okay, what's this?
And
Oh my God.
so, over the last 60 years, we've had a lot of different pickup campers. And you'll notice the truck underneath changes more than the camper does. And the big innovation was bold new graphics to hide just how hideous they are. And they're not much fun to drive. You've got to make sure that you don't take the top off as you go under low hanging things. You can't really take them through drive-throughs or
Mm,
parking garages and things. So they're really limited in what they can do. But yet, a camper is still nicer to drive for most people than a trailer, because trailers aren't much fun to deal with either. And
right.
so we thought, well, what if you take away all those negatives and keep all the positives, in fact, expand on them? And
Yeah.
so we created something completely new.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay.
There it
So
is.
where
we,
is it?
yeah, we call it the disappearing camper for Tesla Cybertruck, because you don't even know it's there until you pull out your phone and push the button to deploy it, and then the
Okay,
magic
let's
happens.
let's go ahead and pretend that I'm gonna press the
Okay.
button right now. I'm gonna play the video, okay?
Okay. So magically out of the vault of the Cybertruck springs CyberLandr. And I think you'll be amazed once we get inside that you have a bigger kitchen area than you have in any other pickup camper. In fact, bigger than most trailers and some motorhomes, with unobstructed countertop space, because we have an invisible induction cooktop hidden underneath. And then the real magic of this design was eliminating the fixed bed and the fixed chairs, the dinette set, and replacing them with independent chairs that can convert to a bed. And of course, you also get a full bathroom with a sink, a recirculating shower, and a dry flush toilet. And when you're done, you push the button again. It all hides back inside the CyberLandr or the Cybertruck, and you drive off. And very little reduction in range because there's no additional aerodynamic drag.
Wow. This thing was gorgeous. I can't
Thank you.
believe this. I guess the thing that blows my mind is that you really got the full kitchen. You've got a shower, which is gorgeous inside there. But and then you can actually lie down and sleep in it as well. But I love the way that you just press the button and then it appears out of nowhere, and yet you have all this square footage and size. Is there anything that you think that you had to, basically miss out on and not include in this? Because it seems pretty complete. It has a TV.
Yeah, yeah, we don't like compromises. And when Tesla decided to make cars, they decided we're not just going to make electric cars that aren't as good as gas cars. We're going to make electric cars that are better. And
Right.
that was what we wanted to achieve with this too. We wanted a pickup camper that was better than any other pickup camper, not just an electric version of them, right? So let's talk about some of the things that make it better. Number one, in a typical pickup camper, you've got cabinets in the way. So when you're trying
Yep.
to look out the windows, you can't see out the windows, right? With this, because the walls go up and down, you can't have those cabinets there. You have the kitchen cabinet instead for storage space, and that opens it up. So you've got these great views, 270 degrees views there, and then of course another window in the bathroom. And so you actually get to see what you went out to nature to see, and you can
Wow.
do it from inside.
Yeah.
And you've got better headspace than you have in other pickup campers. We do have that 32 inch 4K smart TV. So you can stream from your computer to it wirelessly or plug it in if you'd like. It's also a smart TV, so you can pick up your Netflix or your Prime or whatever else to watch a movie. And because it has Starlink as
Yeah.
well, uh, the more remote you are, the better your connection is. And so, from wherever you are, you can work or enjoy your favorite TV show or movie. Um, the kitchen area was really frustrated that most RVs have very little countertop space to actually prepare a
Mhm.
meal. And so you don't end up preparing very good meals, frankly, most of the time when you're camping. We wanted to solve that. And so we've got an invisible induction cooktop that
Right.
sits underneath the countertop. And the countertop is porcelain. So we're not talking heat sealed vinyl or formica or even corian like other RVs. This is top spec. This is porcelain. It's a marble look. The problem with marble, though, is marble is porous and it stains easily. So lemon juice or wine will ruin it. And so with porcelain, we all know porcelain, you can beat it to death decade after decade, and it's going to look fantastic. And it's easy to clean. And so we've got that, and you actually cook through the countertop without excessively heating the countertop. So, you can boil water on it and put your hand on top of the countertop, and it's not going to burn your hand. And then our sink is even special. It's a tri-level sink that incorporates a wash bucket, colander, a cutting board, and a drying rack. So your sink becomes a workstation as well. So instead of having a sink that's barely big enough for one plate to wash, you got something truly usable. And with the cutting board on top, it expands your countertop space. So you end up with about 5 linear feet, about 10 square feet of countertop space to work with, which is really unheard of in an RV.
Yeah. It sounds like you're actually competing against an actual RV, not just the campers themselves, because of the tremendous amount of features and all the things that you're including in this.
Yeah, we really are. In fact, we've had a lot of people tell us that they were thinking about a van, a custom van, and then
Yeah.
they decided, no, this meets their needs even better. One of the challenges with RVs has always been is the destination is the reward, but the journey isn't. If you've ever gone very far in an RV, it compromises a lot of things. The gas mileage, the ride, where you can go, uh, and
Right.
in some of the vans now you hear more of the plates rattling than you do anything else. So it's not like you get to enjoy a good stereo. Not that they put a good stereo in those vans and things anyway, right? So
Yeah.
now think of your driving experience. You're in a Tesla. So if you're driving at all, instead of having it do the driving, you're having a good time driving it. And you've got the great sound system and the great climate control and everything else, and it's silent, right? So why ruin that? So we thought this lets you enhance that.
Yeah.
You get to really enjoy the journey in a Tesla, but then when you arrive, you get a Tesla-like experience in your RV.
That's brilliant. Yeah, you can go anywhere because it's just a truck, a Cybertruck
Yeah,
at this point,
yeah.
and then
Anywhere
all
the
of a sudden
truck
it
can
converts.
go, right?
Yeah,
And you don't have to worry about shearing the top of it off or anything else.
brilliant. Okay, so tell me how this compares to your competitors. Oh, what's this? This is first the
So yeah, when we launched, it just took off like wildfire, and so in no time, it was being picked up by Top Gear, Fox Business, and other big publications like Rob Report. And within 5 weeks, we already had $60 million in orders, and it continued to grow. And by the end of the year, we were at 100 million. And Elon had even tweeted out that CyberLandr is cool, which made Yahoo Finance. And that sales are now over 130 million. And
you,
we really stopped advertising a year ago. We just post an update every month or two on our progress, and yet it continues to grow. And so, of course, we're super happy with that. We will start promoting it again as we get closer to the release date, but even without us really mentioning it, it continues to sell very well.
yeah. So you've also got 125. You've got 125 million dollars in reservations already, and Cyberlander Cybertruck hasn't even released yet. So you're just right on track with the success of Cybertruck.
Yeah, yeah, we're seeing the same wave of excitement that they are, which is not unexpected, right?
Yeah.
A lot of excitement around Cybertruck, but you want an RV with it as well. And
Yeah.
so it's been really gratifying to see so many people embrace this design.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. You've created something that is Cybertruck worthy.
Thank you.
Otherwise, people would be excited about it.
Right.
Okay, so this is what I was asking, which is how does it compare with the existing, or this is
As
existing new competitors in the space, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were the first ones out, and some people were critical of us announcing so quickly, and we said we don't think so. We need to
Yeah.
know now if there's going to be demand for this, so that we can be ready as close to when Cybertruck ships as possible. And so we launched, and obviously it took off like a rocket. And so we knew we had struck a nerve. And so uh, obviously you always get competition. So we've had some competitors come around, and how we compare our aesthetic is it disappears. Uh,
Mm.
Forms looks like you've got a coffin in the bed, and once you see
Coffee.
that, you can't unsee it. And of course, that compromises some off-road ability because it sticks out like that. And Loki's is more of a traditional camper, so it's really quite bulky. And there's a
Wow.
range reduction due to the design. Ours has no aerodynamic drag, no additional aerodynamic drag. So our range reduction is due purely to the weight we add, which we estimated around 5%. Forms we estimated about 15%, and Loki's at closer to 40% range
Oh, no
reduction.
doubt.
And
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh.
all of that changes the driving dynamics. We carry the weight low and centered over the rear axle the way the engineers of Cybertruck intended it to be. So there's
Yeah.
very little change in driving dynamics, especially with the adaptive suspension. You may not even remember it's there. With form, obviously, you're going to have some change to the driving dynamics because you're carrying weight so far off the back. And with Loki, you're carrying it very high. So you're not going to go take a corner very fast. So
For sure.
uh, then,
Right?
ours is really the first RV that fits in a normal parking space or garage. And that's huge. People have wanted to be able to do that forever. It means you don't have to park at the end of the parking lot. You can go to the mall and drive inside instead of going around the block 3 times trying to find a parking space. And we have AI home automation and 360-degree surveillance included with ours. They don't. We have Starlink internet and a recirculating shower, so you can take nice, long, warm showers if you'd like without running out of water, and they don't. And so our price comes in lower than theirs. It's like, how is that possible? Well, because the next line shows you why. Because we have thousands of orders and they have dozens, so we can
Oh,
manufacture assembly line style with agile manufacturing like Tesla does. That we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that allows us to drive down the cost while driving up the value. So it's really doesn't have competition at that price point, even though we have more features and we can
it,
go in any parking space.
wow. This is
And
very compelling. Yeah.
yeah, and you think about that and you say, well, but maybe they have more space. And I think if you look at it, they really don't. You can sit up in our bed. It's hard to sit up in the bed in a pickup camper. You're usually crawling in up over the cab. And so you'll have more room in ours when you're sitting in the bed. Uh, and all you've got to do is that very quick conversion, right? So the compromises are very few in our design. And we
I
think
think
people are really going to love
yeah,
it.
your job is actually very easy because all you're doing is copying Tesla. You're doing exactly the game plan that Tesla is. The question is, why aren't
Well,
others doing that, right?
it makes you wonder, when you see something done right and you don't follow it, you're probably not so bright, right? And so we like to learn not only from our own mistakes, but from other people's mistakes and what they also get right. And Tesla's very
Yeah.
clearly showing us all a
Yeah.
better way to design and manufacture and run a business. When you can have years long uh, order books while not having a marketing or advertising team, you're
Right.
doing pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good so far.
Now that we have a better understanding of CyberLandr and its competition, let's go back and revisit the vehicle trade-offs. As we noted earlier, the Cybertruck is good at everything. It doesn't have the traditional compromises to be strong in one area, it has to be weak in others that we've seen with every other vehicle throughout history until now. But what happens when you add a CyberLandr to a Cybertruck? Well, you dramatically increase its value and utility, automation and luxury, with a very, very slight reduction in economy and performance. Because now it's not just a vehicle, it's a mobile tiny home. Now you can take your kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and office anywhere and everywhere you go and fit in one parking place or drive it into a garage or a covered parking or through a drive-through. This has never happened before in history, and that is why our customers are so excited about it.
So this is cool. So this is the feedback that the people who've given you reservations are saying, right?
Yeah, yeah. The customer feedback has been amazing, even from day one. People told us it's what they've been dreaming of and could never find. It's rocking their world. And of course, the one that makes us laugh and the one that we hear the most frequently is "Shut up and take my money." When's the last time you heard that on
Take my money.
a $55,000 product, right? Uh, People are excited about it, not because it's a camper, because it's a lot. It's much more than that, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit more later as well.
Yeah.
So, of
This is
course,
cool.
the best feedback is Elon tweeting
Yeah,
out it's cool.
for sure.
So we like to say Cybertruck plus CyberLandr equals love. And obviously,
Love.
we have what we call the love mark. And if you look at the enthusiasm for our product, it's really clear that our customers really love it.
Right.
But in this case, LUV means lifestyle utility vehicle. So we think we've created a whole new category.
Yes.
It's kind of a cross between an RV and an SUV, right? Because it fits in the same space as an SUV, but gives you the functionality of an RV. So it becomes a lifestyle utility vehicle. A few years ago, there was a big debate of which is the best camera. And the debate was won when somebody suggested the best camera is the one you have with you.
Right.
And we say the same about an RV. The best RV is the one you have with you. And CyberLandr is the one that can always be with you. So you use it when you go to the beach for the day or the lake. You use it when you're mountain biking up the canyon and want to shower before you go in for dinner. Uh, we've got quite a few customers who tell us they never intend to go camping with it, but they intend to have it support their lifestyle so that when they're at the Little League game, they've got a place for cold snacks, a place to get out of
What?
the sun, a place
Right.
for the kids to rest between soccer matches or whatnot, right? Things that they just don't really normally have. And so I think we're seeing the beginning of a whole new type of vehicle. In fact,
Yeah.
my view is as we get into these self-driving robo-taxis, right?
Mm.
The market really starts to switch, and you get a group that says, I no longer need a car because I can walk out of the grocery store on my front door and
Mm.
hail one of these robo taxis within a couple of minutes. So why have the expense and the hassle and all of that? So the people who will want to continue to have cars will say, well, I don't want something that just goes from point A to point B like cars have done for the last 100 years. I want
Yeah.
something that supports my lifestyle, whether I'm a contractor, whether I'm a landscaper, whether I'm a surfer, whether I'm an overlander. Uh, they're going to look for something that supports their lifestyle, or they're just going to use a robo taxi. And I think we're the best example of something that supports lifestyles.
Gosh, I love all those examples that you just gave. And I can see that with the movement that's happening with the work from home or work from anywhere now, really. And then, like you said, it doesn't matter. It's no longer just about, I'm going to go camping. I better get my RV. This is something you can have anywhere you go, whatever
Yeah,
you do on a daily basis. I love this. This is brilliant. This is a whole
yeah,
new
and thank
category.
you.
Yeah.
Well, and think about business travelers, right? Do you want to stay in the COVID motel? Probably not. Do you want, so much of the fun has been taken out of travel the last few years between the TSA, having to arrive early, go through all the checks, uh, rent the car at a certain time, have to be at the hotel at a certain time to check in, be out by a certain time. It takes a lot of the fun out of travel. And
Mm.
so with Cybertruck and CyberLandr, you can go whenever you want, stay as long as you want, change your schedule whenever you want. There's no penalty. You're not going to get charged $200 for not showing up for your hotel or whatnot. You just go and
Mm.
do whatever you want to do. And that could be. It doesn't have to be camping. And that's what we're really seeing is that this changes everything. It's not about going to an RV park and playing pinochle with the retirees. It's about adventure. It's about exploring our world. It's about doing a tour of wine country or cheese
Yeah.
country or California or North Carolina beaches. It's getting out and seeing just how wonderful this world really is and how wonderful people are. If you're watching TV too much, you lose that. And then you get
Yeah.
back out and you talk to people and you find out that this really is a wonderful world.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Okay. That's 2,600 orders,
Yeah, we're over
1.3
2,600
million
orders,
deposits.
1.3 million in deposits, and over
Hmm.
130 million in
Hmm.
reservations now. So, uh, and continuing to grow.
Wow. That's fantastic. Okay. Tell me about the business here, financial projections. Where are you going? All right.
Well, the first full year of production, uh, we're pretty confident we can build 8,000 of these,
Yeah.
which would represent 400 million plus in revenue. And depending on the price earnings ratio, and that probably a market cap of about 2 billion. By year two, we think we can produce 12,000, which would represent 600 million and a market cap of close to 3 billion. And then by year three, the third full year of production, we think we'd be at 18,000. Now, by then, we will have another product out that will be contributing to that volume. And so it could be 900 million or more because that follow on product will be even more expensive. But I think it'll represent an extreme value. I mean, that's always our goal. We never try to be the least expensive. We never try to be the most expensive. We try to be the highest value. We want to give people the most bang for the buck, and we want to give them the very best experience. And so we don't look to build to a specific price point. We build to an experience point. We want something that people love using, and that's going to be a little more expensive than the cheapest thing. But then we'll use agile manufacturing and volume to drive the cost down, so we can be an
Right.
extreme value. And
Oh,
so,
man.
we see a reasonable, clear path to 4.5 billion market cap in 3 to 4 years, and that represents about a 50% compound annual growth rate. So,
I'm still stuck at the fact that, or the projection that you might be a $2 billion company in year
yeah,
one. I've never heard
yeah.
everybody
Well, after
have
the
that.
first full year of production, right? It seems outlandish, but it's just an amount of the numbers, right? If you take
Yeah.
a product that's over $50,000 and you have thousands of them, it adds up pretty
Yeah.
quickly, which is what Tesla's facing with 1.5
Yes.
million reservations for Cybertruck at
Yeah.
60,000 or more apiece. You end up at many billions of dollars very quickly.
That's brilliant. Okay. Woo! 50, and then you got the same 50% year over year growth,
Yeah,
huh?
and yeah, you
Well,
know,
whatever Cybertruck does, you're likely to follow.
yeah, we'll be closely tied to that. One of the things that's been really interesting and gratifying to us is how many people are telling us they had no interest in Tesla or Cybertruck until they saw CyberLandr, and then they said, "I have to have one."
What?
And initially, that was not the case at all. Our first orders were purely people who had already ordered a Cybertruck. But over time, that has changed. And now we're seeing at least 15% of our reservation holders are people who had no interest at
Yeah.
all in Cybertruck, and many of them had no interest in an electric vehicle. But this really connected with them because it supports the lifestyle they want to have.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I can't wait until somebody's standing there at the shopping mall, and then there's a Cybertruck pulls up. The person presses a button, and up comes the Cyberladder, and they're like, "What is that?" And then because of that, they're going to be buying a Cybertruck and a Cyberlander.
It's much like Transformers, right? We finally have lived long enough to see the Transformers become real when a truck becomes an RV right before your eyes.
Okay, nice. Wow. This is a great video of watching it pop up and
Thank
then
you.
how you can
Yeah.
sleep in there. That's one thing I did not know until I just saw this one, is that you can actually sleep in there. And then you've got all these patents. Okay.
We do. Yeah, we have patents covering the software, the lift system, other parts of the hardware, and of the experience. So we've got 5 already issued. We've got 1 published that should be issued very soon, and another 7 pending, and more coming. We believe in protecting the good ideas, and we've got lots of them.
Wow, brilliant.
So
Okay, well, this is a brand new product with so many incredibly new features. It looks like that there's a lot of things that you guys can patent, and you should do that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's one way to protect shareholder value as well, right? And we want to do that. Um, So we think it's a unique opportunity in history, right? You only get so many opportunities to disrupt an industry. And we think
Mm,
now is the time to disrupt the RV industry, that it's long overdue for it. And
yeah.
so, um, as you click forward, you'll see, we think there's this marvelous opportunity now because there's a booming RV industry. There's a post pandemic desire to travel, and I don't
Yeah.
see that going away.
I don't
Um,
think so either. Hmm.
There's, competition has little vision
Yeah.
in our view. And then, of course, there's the opportunity to disrupt using software and AI and also through electrification. Because as things get electrified, everything's going to have to change. You can't take a big, bulky box and push it through the air anymore. It's just
Hmm.
too inefficient. And so we think we have the opportunity to unlock massive value in the RV industry.
This sounds very similar to Tesla's situation, right? Where they
Yeah,
saw that there was a electrification of the industry, but it wasn't just one massive revolution. It's also the
right.
automation and full
Yeah,
self driving. In your case, you have both of those, but then you also have this idea, this concept where people are changing their lives and they want to travel more, they want to get out more, and yet you also have the same, or the old competition who didn't have any vision. They're getting caught flat-footed, just like the OEMs for the cars and automobiles. But this is seems like right in line with what's happening, and you're catching the wave at the right time.
yeah, absolutely. It's the perfect storm. You've got so many mega trends coming together at just the right time for this. And like I say, it's a rare event in history. You don't get these opportunities very often, and we want
Right.
to make sure we take advantage of it and produce what people want.
Okay. What's an experience
So
center? Sounds like a gigafactory.
yeah, we need a factory. So we're working on our factory, and we thought, we should have an experience center so that people
Right.
can come, have their CyberLandr installed, and then as they leave, they can choose either an urban or wilderness experience, and they can either go over the river and through the woods, or they can go through a tight drive-through and a low-hanging
Yeah.
car park kind of a thing, so that they can get the feel for, wow, I really can take an RV anywhere.
Yeah. It's I love that your focus is very much on the experience, not necessarily just the product, and that it's about the lifestyle. And then this is, how you thought about it. It's like Disneyland, right? It's not just the
Yeah.
product, it's the full experience
Yep.
wrapped up in one.
Yeah, the hardware and the software is all there just to provide a better experience.
Yeah.
So we're looking to build in Greenport, which is a special economic zone uh, here in the Austin area, and it's going to grow a lot in the coming years, and we hope to be early into that process. Because it's a special economic zone, we can get some money back uh, from the sales taxes, which helps reduce our costs so that we can keep our costs lower for our customers.
So right there, right beside Giga Texas.
It's not right beside it, but it's very close. It's just a few miles away.
Oh my gosh. You have my friend Joe Justice, and then you have Sandy Monroe. Tell me what's going on. How did you get
Yeah,
this
so
group?
we have an all-star team. I'll tell you, it's been really gratifying to see so many top-notch people so excited about what we're doing and to want to be part of it. And we looked at it and we said, okay, if we're going to manufacture, uh, we want to do it right. And back in 1907, Cadillac invented interchangeable parts. And just a few years later, 4 years later, Henry Ford
Mm,
used that technology to invent the assembly line so they could get an order of magnitude reduction in the cost of manufacturing. And that forced everybody, not just in the auto industry, but anybody producing at volume, to move to an assembly line or go broke as their competition did. And that
Indeed.
held until about the 1980s when Toyota used total quality management from W. Edwards Deming to create the Toyota production system. And over time, that forced everybody to move to that type of manufacturing or
Hmm.
become uncompetitive. And now Tesla has disrupted manufacturing again, not just in the auto industry, but in time over every industry. You will
Hmm.
move to agile manufacturing or you will become obsolete.
Indeed.
And, Joe was an agile guru at Tesla, and he loves what we're doing. We love what he's doing. So we thought, now here's the right guy to have come lead our manufacturing. And of course, Sandy Monroe, we worked with Sandy and his team from even before we announced publicly. And so, uh, great relationship there. And we had Sandy's team design our manufacturing facility, the layout, estimate how long it will take to do everything, what it will cost. And in fact, Sandy and Elon are doing an interview this week, I think. So you should be able to see that soon. So it's not an either or for us. Both groups have tremendous value they can add. And so we wanted to take advantage of both of those. And then Greg Vane, he's a former NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory scientist and strategist. Brilliant guy. And very early on, he fell in love with CyberLandr, placed his reservation, and then has stayed in touch. And he said, you know what? I would recommend you use NASA's technology readiness level, TRL system, to
Mm.
track all these different parts of this
Yeah.
complex project to make sure they come together at the right time and everybody's communicating clearly about them. And we adopted that, and it's been great. And so we've stayed in touch with Greg, and he's had some other great insights and things. So we wanted to add him to our advisory board as well.
Yeah.
So
I love
great team of people.
yeah, I love how normally Sandy Monroe is at the end product after products have been launched, he takes it apart and shows you what happened and what's wrong. Now you got him right at the beginning.
Yeah.
All these learnings get at the
Yeah,
beginning.
which is what he would tell you is the secret to what they do, right? They
Yeah.
do lean design and manufacturing. And what they discovered is you can't improve efficiency much once you're already at the production level. You can,
Yeah.
it makes about a 5% difference or maybe a 10% difference that late in the process. But you can make a 70% difference in the cost
If it-
if you design it in from the beginning. And
yeah.
so we said, look, we don't have time to get this wrong for 2 years and waste millions of dollars like many big companies do. We've got to get it right the first time. So we went to them very early on,
Yeah.
and they've been a great partner.
Okay. What is this? So this is the network, a cross between
Yeah,
Airbnb and Turo. Okay.
yeah. We thought this would be a great way for customers to be able to get more value out of their CyberLandr, right? If you can rent it out when you don't need it
Mm,
and make some money, it can
gotcha.
help pay for it for you.
Right.
Um, so
Well,
uh,
how do you actually put it and take it off of the actual Cybertruck? I mean, am I one person going to be able to do this?
Uh, so that's the goal, is that one person can do it. And so we'll have a dolly system that will
Mm,
let you take it in and out. And we don't have the final design ready to show that yet. We're really kind of waiting on Tesla's final design
yeah.
because it's a little bit dependent upon that. But we've got a couple of different designs uh, in the wings waiting to have a Cybertruck that we can start working with.
Wow, that was annoying letting that thing keep playing. But I saw that I saw that it had what is that? Solar panels on top? Is that what that
Mhm.
is? What?
It is, yeah. There's our goal is 500 watts of solar on the roof,
Yeah.
and uh, we've worked with a number of different suppliers on those, and our focus has not been to get the maximum number of theoretical watts, but to get the highest actual usable power out of it.
Mhm.
And so we've worked with a number of them that we're testing to see, okay, which ones lose the most power if they're partially shaded or if it's overcast.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get the ones that are the most practical. And we're narrowing that down. And we think we may have found the one or two that we'll go with. So
Okay. Gosh. Okay. So you've got your experience factory net or experience factory. You got your CyberLand network, which is an Airbnb and Turo that lets people who buy this product who don't use it all the time have a way to also generate extra income or pay for it. Again, very brilliant. It's sounding very much again like the Tesla, playbook.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
not
what
done.
is this? What is a SuperLandr site? I love the
So
names.
a SuperLandr site is the opposite of a supercharger. A supercharger is located uh, in big cities or between big cities so that you can rapidly charge and keep on your way, right?
Right? Yep.
This is just the opposite. This is power out of the way at a lower speed charge, somewhere where you want to go and hang out for a while. So whether that's a mountain bike trail or wine country, cheese country, somewhere like that, where you're off the beaten path and you're not in a hurry. You want to stay overnight and you want to trickle charge while you're there. And so
Wow.
uh, that's our thinking is that there are a lot of people that want to do that type of travel, and it's not as well supported by a supercharger network because you want to stay and hang out for a few days and use up some
Got
of that
you.
charge. So that's our thinking. So the network and the Superlander sites are not going to be available from day one,
Yeah.
but they're areas we can grow and add value over time.
Okay. This makes a lot of sense. So you're basically a charging network, but you're going to place it in areas where people like to get there, hang out for several days, and yet be able
Yeah,
to trickle charge or charge to keep them, to stay there for longer instead of having to
right.
travel to get the charging.
Yep.
Again,
Yep.
you're really thinking through the experience of this new lifestyle utility vehicle experience that people want. And this is an example one. Brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see
and we
how
think
this
the
works. Yeah.
Superlander sites could prove as valuable to what we're doing as superchargers have to Tesla,
Hmm.
a real key
Okay.
point of differentiation.
Right, right, right. Because if you buy the Cyberlander, then you have a membership that can then take advantage of all of these sites that you've set up everywhere else, and it's
Right.
part of the whole experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a new product coming. You're
there
hinted
are
at it.
there are
Yeah.
multiple new products coming, but this one in particular is, uh, the pickup camper market is 1% of the RV market. The trailer market is 60% of the RV market, and
Okay.
uh, we think we can come up with a trailer that's as disruptive to that market as the Cyberlander has been to the pickup camper market,
Yeah.
and something that really redefines the whole category and really broadens it to a lot more people who maybe hadn't even thought they wanted a trailer before.
So this is like
So
I own a Model 3. I can now have a trailer of that Cyberlander, or I don't even have a Tesla at all. I've got some other
yeah,
car.
and it may not even be an electric car. Even
Right.
better for an electric car, but you could use it for anything. So it will dramatically broaden our market.
Okay. And then if you have the solar panels, then you don't need the electricity from the electric car.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And so just like Cyberlander, it will be fully electric, so you'll never need to run around town getting propane cans or lifting those up and screwing them on or anything. It'll all be electric, so everything's convenient. If you may have to plug in every once in a while, but a trailer gives us so much more area. We can put enough solar panels on that chances are you'll never need to plug it in.
Wow. Okay. You seem like you've thought things through. And so there's still an opportunity for people to,
Uh, for a short period of time, there is. Yeah, we're still able to do private placements. This may very well be the last opportunity for individual investors, accredited investors at this point. We already did a crowdfunding round on Start Engine for non-accredited investors, and we wanted have to let accredited investors have a chance to get in if they wanted to. So if they contact us soon, if they're interested, they can be part of a private placement. And like I said, this will probably be the last time that we'll do that. We'll probably be doing only institutional money after that. So
okay, let's watch this beautiful video. One last look at this gorgeous product. There's stairs going up. You open a door and you can get into the washroom plus shower. You walk in, you've got the kitchen, and then you've got the ability to sleep and pull that out. You got a TV, um, pretty well everything you need. And then you got the solar panels at the top. You have the ability to pull this down and up whenever you want. And then the beautiful piece de resistance. You have one button on your app, I guess, right? You pull up your phone,
Yeah.
just like the Tesla,
Hmm.
you press a button and the thing goes down and it goes up,
Yep.
hides
Yep.
away.
And yeah, and if you think about, using this as compared to a traditional pickup camper, you really can't get in or out of it without bumping bums with who's ever at the sink or cooking, right? You
Yeah.
can't get to the dinette set without bumping into people. In the dinette set, you're knocking knees and toes. You have to bump into people to get to the bed, to the dinette, to the bathroom. With our design, you can get in and out of the bathroom without running into anybody else. If there's somebody cooking or using the sink, they're at the far corner. You're never even going to run into them if you're coming into the fridge, you know, taking a seat to watch TV, going to the bathroom. So I think people are going to be surprised just how much bigger this feels than campers that are technically bigger. And I think they'll be surprised at the experience.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much, Lance. I'm so glad I did this because, oftentimes when you see a very successful market, industry, or product, it's the accessories, it's the people who add on to that that can really make not only that product better, like the Tesla and the Cybertruck in this case, but also you guys are going to make a lot more money because you've tagged on to a very successful product. And I'm really excited. I really thought that this was an amazing product. I'm not just saying that. I think there's so many incredible features here that it's just uncomparable. I love the way that you've basically modeled your development of this product and company to Tesla in every way, including just the focus of the experience. So people can check this out at the website, right? Cyberlandr.com
Yep,
without the E and
cyberlandr.com.
lander.
Drop the
And then
last E.
right? And they can send you more information at invest@cyberlandr.com. Thank you so much, Lance. Appreciate this. And
Thank you,
everybody,
Herbert. It's been a real
please.
pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.